Pistachio, you want to be a part of LexMas? You are a part of LexMas because you're my baby. Hey, have you guys seen Pistachio in a while? Look how big he is. I manhandled you and you're purring. Hello all my beautiful, wonderful people. My name is Lexi and welcome back to my channel. And today we are doing a video of LexMas. I don't know what day it is. I'm filming this one. This is the first video of LexMas I'm filming, but it's not going to be... This is actually the first video of LexMas I'm filming, but it's not going to be the first video of Lex. If it ends up being that, just scratch that. So mom had the idea for me for this LexMas to do a archive by collection. I was gonna fish the albums out from storage for the archive, but I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to fish them out of storage because if you don't know, I moved back in with my family about 2 years ago and some of my stuff is in storage, sadly. I just didn't want to fish it out. It just felt like a lot of work to fish out boxes, to get things out, to then inevitably have to put them back up because I just don't have that much room at the moment. But yeah, so for my archive collections at the moment, there are 2 collections for that. Mainly, at some point, Eyes 1 and probably Luna will move into the archive section. But for now, we just have Gugadon and Ailey. And for me, what my archive collection really means is that I'm not really actively working on these groups because for what I want for the most part is complete. If I come across a card that I want, because there's always cards that can be added to a collection for good prices, I will add them. Now, Gugadon is kind of not complete anymore because my goal for my Gugadon collection is to always have all their album cards complete, and I don't have Sejong's newest album completed. Still, I'm missing like 3 cards and I have not been able to find them and it's really annoying. So if you have them, please reach out to me. But anything else like Pops for Sejong, really special Gugadon cards, they're not priority. I just pick up. And when it comes to Ailey, that's who's in this collect book. Okay, that should be our last interruption. The one thing about living with your family is there's constantly something going on. That's why when I was like, oh my god, they're both out of the house, what? I tried to film sooner, but it didn't happen. I had to eat breakfast. Anyway. But yeah, so this is my Ailey one. And for Ailey, I mainly just keep up with her album releases. She only has really one version of the album. And because Ailey is like 2nd gen border 3rd gen idol, some of her early albums didn't have any cards. We didn't really have photo cards until Butterfly for Ailey, and I have some of the extra cards for those, like Ratata I'm missing 1, Butterfly I'm missing 3, and then there are other albums like I'm Amy where I'm missing most of them. I think there's 4 cards for I'm Amy, and I have the one that I pulled in my album. And then Lovin' is the only one I have done, and her newest album only came with 2 cards, just like Lovin', and I'm tempted to buy a second copy of it just like I did for Lovin' to see if I can pull the other card. But I'm also I do think Ailey cards would sell because I do feel like there are plenty of aliens, but it's just because she's a soloist and she's a 2nd gen soloist, it's just hard to find people willing to sell and part with her cards. So yeah, these are my archive collections. In terms of albums, like I said, I collect all the versions of their albums for all these groups, or these 2 groups. So Gugadon, I'm actually have a basically complete album collection. There's only 1 album that I am missing, and it's from the time when I wasn't into K-pop and I wasn't collecting, and Sejong's 2nd mini album came out. I'm Sejong, or I'm. And that album resale is so expensive. I'm not willing to spend $80 on it, especially considering I already have all the photo cards, which were also expensive, but I was able to get those for a good price. I got them less than what people normally sell them. But in terms of my Gugadon collection, that is the only album I'm missing. I don't collect special or OST albums. I've thought about it for Gugadon before, but I don't want to get into that because I feel like that would just be a slippery slope. And Sejong is one of the only girls to have something really that you can collect / purchase post Gugadon. So yeah, I would love some of Sally's things from when she was a part of Produce China. There's some photo cards from that with her Chinese name that I always forget when I'm filming. I don't have any of that either, so it's not that big of a priority. And mainly in that regards, I would like photo cards from it and not the albums, because I don't even know if they did physical albums. I know there are photo cards, but again, when it comes to photo cards for Guggeron and Ailey, I take it really chill. Kind of my goal is to add one every year. Sadly for Guggeron this year, I couldn't add a single one, which is kind of depressing. For Ailey, she did have a new album, so I was able to add one. But yeah, that's kind of like, it's very chill with my archive collections. Like, I'm like, just want to add one every so often, like, just to like keep it alive, keep it fresh, keep it just. I have noticed a lot of people are selling like their Guggeron cards. Mine is Sejong for pretty cheap, and I'm like low-key like tempted to like just put up a Guggeron wish list and see if people like trade them to me, like that don't care about them, but we'll see. We'll start with Guggeron because the camera is set up for like the wider angle, and then we will do the Ailey Collect book. The only thing I am missing again in terms of album cards in here is from Lock and Key, Sejong's newer album. But in terms of everything else, I have full group done. Guggeron is my OG, one of my OG old girl groups. Secret being my original old girl group. Guggeron being my second, but Guggeron was like in the era that I actually was collecting, said Secret was not. So I have Wonderland Act 1 completed. We have Act 2 Narcissus completed. This is like a separate thing that I would like to change one day. So I got this Sejong a long time ago, but again, Sejong is very expensive to collect, and you might be able to notice that this card in particular is very, very damaged. Like, do you see that? But I think the person, because I was buying other Guggeron cards off of them, and I think they were like, if you pay like $1 for this one, I will give it to, like, I will add it to your order. I think it's just that one. Yeah, this one looks fine, but that one is severely like damaged. Even for my taste, like, it looks just gross. I would love to one day change that. I also realized that these pages, like these Guggeron, or like Guggeron is still in like my really old pages. Something else I would like to change one day is putting them in my newer, nicer pages, just to like juice up the collection a little bit. But yeah, Mimi and Thunder have been doing stuff musically since they've gotten married, and they're both in a company now. Mimi released a solo like song this year that was really good.
Sweet dreams, my dear.
It was very sweet, very soft, very Mimi, and so I'm very excited to see hopefully more things from the girls in the future. And then we have Act 3. This is Choco Factory, or Choco Co Factory, and then this is the Kino set. It's crazy to think that we used to get like full sets like this in Kino albums. I guess they kind of do that for the Nemo albums now, but like Kino albums like would come with like these full like sets. Like Eyes 1 did it, Guggeron did it. This one for Eyes 1 or Guggeron came with these unit cards that I stuck in the middle just to fill this out. And you'll notice that it is an 8 spread because he was injured for this one, so she set out, if you don't know anything about Guggeron. Act 4, Catsith is here. This is when I started standing Guggeron, was right before Catsith. It was when the acapella teaser came out. I've gone over this lore before, but if you don't know, yeah, it's when the acapella teaser came out for Catsith. It's such a good like teaser. I will link it if you've never listened. I might put a little clip in here too.
어떤 길로 갈지 고르지 마. 휘바람을 불어 어디라도 널 위한 길. So lucky. 천정 앞에다 꼭 겁먹지마 넘어버려 사뿐 별일 아냐 nothing 내 말 맞지.
It's so good. It's so it made me fall in love with Gugunon. Love a good strong vocal group, honestly. But yeah, so this is the Kino version. We're back to all 9. And then the 2 album card versions, which this set is probably like the individual cards. Maybe one day I'll go through and like try to make like my own set, but they didn't like actually match the concepts for the cards, like because I do it based off of the backs of the cards, and like it's kind of disappointing because like I feel like it would have looked better if they had like more of their black outfits all together and then all their blue like outfits together, but it is what it is. So that's Cat Sith. And then they had a subunit called Semina. Love this album. It was a single album, but it's still one of my favorites. I love Semina, and Ruby Heart is so good. The styling for this was so good. I think I talked about it when Lemon Drop came out, but I'm a sucker for a good summer vibey concept. Love it so bad. So yeah, this is one of my favorite releases from Gugunon, even though it's a subunit. To this day, I wish it was like a full group, or we got a full group comeback in this sort of style. A lot of people hated on it. I thought it was really good. So do with that information what you will. But these 2 rows are the Kino albums that came in the Kino album. And then this row is the actual photo book cards. There was just one to collect for each of the 3 members in it. And these are what I like to call IOI line, because Sejong and Mina were both in IOI, and Nayoung was in Produce, like season 1. She was on the show, like they auditioned together. They were the girls from Jellyfish that auditioned together. Just Nayoung didn't make it, but Mina and Sejong did. Then we have Act 5, which was their last album, which is so depressing. It's Act 5 New Action, which is probably one of their best albums. I don't know. I know this is the one that other people love the most, but I'm a sucker. I love their debut a lot. Like a lot. Like, I don't know. When it comes to overall Gugunon albums, I think Wonderland is my favorite. I don't know. There's just something very special about Wonderland to me. And then Act 5, like New Action, would be my next favorite. And then it would probably be Cat Sith, Narcissus, and then I think Chococo Factory would be last. Chococo Factory, for the longest time, I actually didn't even like I didn't like that title track for the longest time. So there is that. And then we have the Kino album. This is their one and only Japanese album. I'd been slowly like buying these off of Neokyo, but then they became like basically impossible to find, so that sucks. And the quality of these is like questionable. Some of the girls' cards look better than others. Like if you look at Haven's, it looks very faded, and I don't know if that has to do with like the lighting she chose or what, but Haven is my overall bias in Gugunon. I know that's weird because most people either like their main bias is one of the IOI members, but Haven was my bias and will always be my bias. I love checking in on her. She has some solo songs that she released. She hasn't really released any recently, but she did, I think a year or 2 ago, she did this project where she basically released a solo song a month, and they're all really good. I really like Bus. And then here, like I said, here's my Sejong solo section. So here are her 2 cards for Plant. Here are all the I Am cards. I had this set up differently for a while, and honestly, I might change it again because I low-key hate the way this is set up. But yeah, so here's Plant, I Am, and then her newest album. So these are all the album cards that I have, and the most disappointing part is I bought like 8 copies of both versions of the album, so like 16 copies in total, to try to pull all the photo cards I needed for this album, and it did not work, which is so depressing. I think the next time Sejong has a solo debut, I might do like a group order. These were the K-Town for You pre-order cards. So like I said, I ordered so many. I had so many of these like pre-order cards for a while there, because you got one, like for each version of the album, you got one from K-Town. And so I ordered 8 copies of both. What I should have done was order like 1 copy from K-Town, 1 copy from somewhere else, until I equaled the amount that I needed, so that way I could have gotten a better variety. But we live and we learn. That was the first time I really bulked purchased for an album. And in terms of like trying to get polls, because I normally don't do that, I normally just buy secondhand, but I know Sejong is so expensive, so I was trying. And I did decent, I would say. Like I said, I think I'm missing like 2 cards. I think there were 8 per concept. I don't know, or version. This is what I like to call my extra Gugudon section. So this is Haven's Singapore card. These are what I like to call Jellyfish was milking Gugudon cards. So right before they disbanded Gugudon, and it was like the first thing they had done in like years, and when I say years, I mean years, they released this like puzzle set with each of the members. So there were 2 members on the puzzle. I got Haben and Sohee's puzzle. And so you got Haben's card, Sohee's card, and then there's a unit card, and then obviously the puzzle. These are Sejong and Mina's IOI cards because I counted that as part of my Gugudon collection because it felt necessary. Like I had to have them. Would love more of like any of this stuff. Anything from IOI era for Sejong and Mina too. I would love to have the IOI light stick one day. That is really expensive and probably going to be impossible at this point, but like if it ever happened, I'd be really happy because like I am an IOI girly. Like IOI was like I was a produce girl for a while. I was a produce girl for a while until X1 happened, and then they shattered my heart. And then I just stopped caring about Mnet and Mnet groups. Sorry Kepler and sorry ZB1. But like the original produce groups, I was pretty far up them. I mean, like you guys know how I feel about Ice One. You guys know how I feel about IOA now. I even was pretty casual with 101. I didn't love 101 as much. It's probably my least favorite, but I was gonna collect X1 from the start, and then everything that happened with X1, I was so sad. I ended up selling everything, and I had like basically a full collection, like OT10 collection for everybody in X1 at one point. I kind of regret that, and I don't really keep up with the members now because I'm just bitter. Yeah, do with that information what you will. Anyway, here's my like group card and unit card section. So some of the Kinos came with like a group card, minus the Chococo Factory ones, obviously. And New Action didn't come with one for whatever reason. And then, like I said, the puzzle card. So here's the unit of the puzzle card. So this is what the puzzle looks like. It literally is this photo, but like a puzzle. And then it did come with this group card as well of all the members and their outfits from that day. And they're so cute. I don't remember what the other member combinations are, but like there's 3 more that I would have to collect because at this point there are 8 members of Gugudon. So there would be 4 in total. I would love to finish these timetables cards eventually, but again, I don't know. I never see them sold anymore. And if I do, they're like stupidly expensive, which is so depressing. But yeah, Gugudon had a concept when they first debuted because I think it's Gugudon that in Korean sounds like multiplication, so they were all supposed to represent like different times tables, which is such a weird concept if you think about it. So yeah, so these were their timetables cards where it just kind of like said, so like it says times table 7, so Mimi is the 7th. I would like to get like some sleeves or something for these because I'm scared they're gonna get damaged. I don't know, they're just so old at this point. Jellyfish did these trading card sets for Semina, and I love them. So I have all of the units, which are stinking beautiful. Love them so much. I think this one is probably my favorite. I don't feel like we got enough in this concept, like this like setting sun concept that they did for the photo book. It's so pretty. I also really like this one. And then I have Sejong's full set, which is like the only time I have like everything for Sejong and nobody else. I found somebody that was like basically selling their entire Sejong collection way back in the day, and they had these, and so I bought it from them along with all the IM cards, and I think that's it. That's all I got from them. I would love to have Neon's and Mina's one day, but like again, I've never seen these sold. And at the time I didn't buy this kind of thing on my own. Like I only ever bought them resold. Yeah. But nowadays I think I try to collect things like this, like buy them when they're happening, because I do like a good trading card set. And then these are the Japanese trading card sets. They're a little weird, so they're weird sizes, and there was like 10 or 11 per girl, and I really would like all of them one day, but as you can see, I don't even have one for all the members. That was my goal at one point, was to get one for all the members, but we have Mimi's, some for Mimi, We have some from Haven, we have one for Ne Young, and we have one for Mina, which this Mina one is so cute. But yeah, so that is my little Gogodon collection. She is small, but she is mighty. I love her dearly. Maybe because Sejong is doing a concert in Australia, and I think she's doing like photo card, like trading photo cards. And because last time she went on concert, she also only went to Australia and Asia. I want to see if maybe I can find somebody that lives in Australia that will like, that's going to the concert, that doesn't mind picking me up a card, like an extra set of the trading cards. But yeah, so I can at least add something in here, and it'll make me feel better about the fact that I didn't technically add anything to Gugadon this year, which just makes me really sad. Okay, next we have my Ailey binder, and I'm going to try my best not to move it because I tend to move my collect books all around. This first card here is just a business card I made a long time ago. I don't really make my own business cards anymore. Part of me wants to get back into it, part of me doesn't care enough. Who knows? But I made it a while ago. It's a picture of Ailey. She's beautiful, so it's here. And then we start with Butterfly, because like I said, Butterfly is when she started having photo cards. And these are the 3 I have. I think there's 2 more like in this like general butterfly concept, and then she has 2 of the popcorn ones, as I like to call them. So she's holding the popcorn buckets to her face here, and then in the other one she's like pouring it on her head. It's very cute. And then didn't technically have a photo card in the album, but she did a Make Star pre-order, and I didn't know at the time, and I bought from a different site, which kind of sucked. But I found somebody selling the pre-order. It was pretty expensive, but I had never seen anybody selling the pre-order benefit, so I was like, I'm just gonna buy it. And so I did. And then we have the Lovin' cards, like I said. So I pulled both of these on my own. I don't remember which one I pulled in which album first, but I love this one with like the book. This one's also really pretty with like the little flowers in her hair. This is her I'm Amy card that I pulled, which is probably, between that and Butterfly are probably my 2 favorite albums from Ailey. And they're also the like full albums. And then we have Ratata. I bought 2 copies of this album, and luckily both times I pulled different cards. So we have, or I bought this album 3 times. I don't know. I bought this album a couple times, but we have 2 of the selfies and 2 of the concept cards. I think there's 1 more selfie and there was 2 concept cards, but you got 1 of each in your album. So if I buy this one again, I'll have another concept card that I'll probably try to sell. And from her album that was released this year, which is probably my favorite card ever, it's so cute. Like, look at her. She is so cute. It's from Me, Myself, and I think is the name of it. Oh, it's actually called Memoir, which makes sense. But the title track is Me, Myself, and I. But yeah, I just think this card is so pretty. Also, I was debating on doing this. I put this one card in this like blue sleeve from Prism Platinum or Alt Bias. And I wasn't sure if I liked it, but now I think I do. I think I'm going to move all of them to the blue because I think it adds a little bit of... Yeah, this collect book is very small. She doesn't get filled up very often, which is kind of depressing. But when I can, I like to add to my little Ailey collection. It's very, very slowly. And for Ailey, unlike Gugadon, I actually am done. I have every single copy of her albums. Like I have Heaven, which is debut, all the way up to the most recent. I was missing the most recent for a while because I didn't pre-order it because I was being lazy. And then I was like, I'll just buy it from the K-pop store in Atlanta that I always do. And then they didn't actually have it this time. Like, I guess they stopped buying Ailey's albums. And I was like, like, what do I do? But I found it being sold at a different K-pop store in Atlanta. And it was at K-pop Nation, which I think is very overpriced for their actual albums, especially compared to the other stores in Atlanta. And so I like tried not to buy from there, but I didn't see it at the other 2 stores. And like I said, I was like, I need this album because Ailey, like when Ailey sells out, she sells out. Like there's no finding her. Like she's really hard to find secondhand. And so I was like, I just got to get it. It was the only one they had to. So yeah, very happy with that decision because I got this beautiful, beautiful card as my pull. There's one other for this album that hopefully maybe one day I'll have. Maybe one day I'll be able to say that this entire collection is complete. and that would be kind of insane. Ailey also has a light stick, but she released it as part of like merch for one of her concerts. And it was like only through Korea. Like it was really, I couldn't figure out how to buy it through Korea, so I don't own it. It's another one of those things that if I ever could, I would love to one day. But yeah, so that is all for today's little look at my archive collections video, and this day of LexMas. And until the next one, I hope you guys stay happy, stay healthy, and see you tomorrow. Bye guys.